बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। नाज़रीन कराम, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आज हम यादों के दरीचे का 164वां प्रोग्राम लेकर आपकी खिदमत में हाजिर हैं। आज का प्रोग्राम जो है तसलसल है हमारे 162वें प्रोग्राम का, जो 25 जनवरी को हुआ था, जिसमें प्रोफेसर नसीर अहमद खान साहब की याद में महमूद खान साहब और उनके कोलीग्स ने शिरकत की थी। आज का प्रोग्राम भी उसी का तसलसल है। आज प्रोफेसर खालिद साहब ढंग से और प्रोफेसर हमीद अहमद साहब शायद जर्मनी से हमें ज्वाइन करेंगे। इसके अलावा भी ओपन फ्लोर है, जो भी इस मौजू पर प्रोफेसर साहब के बारे में, नसीर अहमद खान साहब के बारे में बात करना चाहता हो वो बात कर सकता है, इस प्रोग्राम में शामिल हो सकता है लाइव। महमूद साहब, मैं आपको बना देता हूँ।
जी।
फिर आप इस प्रोग्राम को आगे चला लें। ठीक।
ठीक है। ठीक है।
महमूद खान साहब, रीनेम में। ठीक है जी, मैंने
ठीक।
आपको होस्ट बना दिया है।
ठीक
अब
है।
आप प्रोग्राम को जिस तरह चाहें आगे लेके चल सकते हैं।
ठीक है। So, as we had started this series about Dr. Naseer Khan Saab, our pattern is that one person would give all the details of Naseer Khan Saab, and we will go every other month with one person each time. And today we are continuing with Khalid Saab, so I give the floor to Khalid Saab.
Jazakallah Mahmood Sahab. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity to continue what I said last time. And it is with the spirit of our Tadis and Nemat that we are going through this. And I also want to mention that Mahmood Khan Sahab mentioned that I should also include my personal experience with Dr. Naseer Ahmad Khan Sahab, which I will try to include as I progress through my presentation. Let me now, first of all, go over to a very brief summary what I talk about on January 25th, 2026. Just to give you what we previously have covered, I will spend 3 or 4 minutes to go to that. Then I will go back to the remaining part. I described in my last presentation that how TI College evolved from primary school to the college level. And I also mentioned that Aziz Khalifatul Masih Sani, Raziyallah Ta'ala anhu, in 1944, he inaugurated the college. And at the time of inauguration, he delivered a address. And I'm going to read only a part of it, which I already did that, but just to remind you, because this is what the purpose of today's presentation is also. Hazur said that the objective of the college is to spread education without consideration of financial status, caste, and creed of the students. The doors of these institutions are open to students coming from all religion and every walk of life. It should be a hallmark of our college. Whoever finishes his education from this institution, he has strong belief in God and safeguard basic values of good conduct and has strong belief in the supremacy of the religion, even though he is a Hindu, Sikh, or a Christian. Then later on in 1954, when Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Sani, Razila Ta'ala anhu, inaugurated college in Rabwa, then he reiterated on this basic thought again, which I am going to read that part also. There is no discrimination regarding religion, financial status, caste, or creed in this college. Students from all religions are welcome. However, it will be binding on them to spend their lives according to the teachings of whatever religion they profess. We expect each of you should worship according to your belief. If any professor compels you to say your prayer after an Ahmadi Imam, fight him. Otherwise, report to me. He further elaborated that the praying according to the teaching of your religion, and he will be reminded if he falls to do so. Hypocrisy is not encouraged and not tolerated in this college. So this is what I summarized, and I will also summarize a little bit about the physics department. But before I go into that, I just want to remind you, if you look at the universities all over the world, either those are started by religious organization or philanthropist or by government or states. And in certain cases like MIT and Stanford, those were by technocrats, by engineers. But historically, no one mentioned religion in their startup because the knowledge has no religion and knowledge is free of any prejudice. And it is for everyone, irrespective of their ethnic or religious background. And it is the same is true for our college, Talim Islam College. And I will also later on mention that for the physics department also. I am just making a remarks over here. If you look at the golden age of Muslims, at that time when we were the torchbearer of the knowledge, this was the same. There was no prejudice. At that time, Christians, Muslims, Jews, and people with no religion, they were working together. And that's how knowledge.
كل مطهر ومقدس
Mahbub Sahib, should I?
ਖਾਲਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਿਊਟ ਕਰ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਹੋ ਅਨਮਿਊਟ ਕਰ ਲਓ
Okay, now it is good.
ਜੀ can you repeat
Okay.
few minutes we might have missed
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying that the golden age of the Muslims, they were practicing the same thing. Unfortunately, we were having those institutions in Tashkent, Bukhara, Alexandria, then in Spain, and also in Iran, Isfahan also. But we did something bad, but anyhow, that's what happened. And the Western civilization, they adopted us. Even I have read that most of the Europeans, they go to the Muslim institution when they will come back after their degrees, they were wearing the turbans, but at the same time, they were wearing their suit with a tie also, and the shalwar as well. So, so that was the way it was. But anyhow, this is what I want to mention. And our new campus, I go over to its detail as well in my last lecture, and the history that how Dr. Naseer Ahmad Khan started the physics department, how he organized that. I am now going to sum up the physics department very briefly, what I said last time, because Professor Naseer Ahmad Khan Sahab started at that time continuous assessment of the students. In my opinion, when I look back, I feel that from first batch onward, most of the students that we were having, those were late bloomers. That's my personal opinion. And it is based on the fact also because some of those were quite old and their academic record was not that good. But the system over there, which Khan Sahib created, it polished that to a level, they flower out of that. And then they gain really a good background and knowledge also. So let me now go over to a little bit of the academic environment, which I last time discussed. And I want to repeat it again for the purpose of continuity, that it was a collegial academic environment focused on teaching, good lab experience, training in questioning, because our weekly seminar that our MSc students were going through, they were learning that. And learning by performing experiments in the lab, exposure to current research by invited speakers, visited to the other labs in Pakistan, like Government College Lahore, then in Islamabad, Princeton. We took our student over there just to show them other labs also. Then we send our faculties to the seminars and also send our faculty to International Center for Theoretical Physics, Trieste, Italy also. And sometimes Professor Abdul Salam was also visiting, and he did deliver some brief lectures as well. There is a good percentage of our first batch students, those did their PhDs. But on the other hand, first batch of the founding faculty members, 90% of our founding faculty members, they did finish their PhD. They worked all around the world from UK, Canada, Australia, and also in the industry in USA and UK and in Germany also. So later on, I also mentioned that we were having excellent MSc examination results. Even after nationalization, physics department remained untouched by the administrations. Although we all know that from 1972 to 83 was a politically turbulent time for Pakistan, with severe flavor of religious prejudice against the Ahmadiyyat during Bhutto and General Ziaul Haq. But I do know that Dr. Naseer Ahmed Khan spoke with, in my presence, with the principals that whatever system that we have, please keep it like this. And so far I know, till 83, when I left in January 84, till that time, no principal ever disturbed us. They never dictated us everything. I also mentioned the hospitality of Dr. Naseer Ahmed Khan. But in brief, let me now summarize that physics department was humming with the academic activities and also bringing students together by holding annual end of the academic year gathering so that the students, those are graduating, and providing opportunity to our students to vent out their sentiments to their classmates, also to their faculty, and also their administration with light jokes organized by the graduate students. Uh, so let me now touch upon some of the basics that Khan Sahib was always really good in respecting the elders. Scholars of the Jamaat and the scholars, those are in the academic life, in education as well in Pakistan. And he was having a really very tender heart also. I remember in my early days, I have seen Qazi Aslam Sahib was our principal, but then he left due to his health. And I remember when he passed away, then the following day, I saw Dr. Naseer Ahmed Khan in his office, and I mentioned about Qazi Aslam Sahib. And he was overwhelmed with emotions to the level that he was weeping also. And I said that then Khan Sahib opened up. He said that I invited Qazi Aslam Sahib at my home. And some of you have seen his house. At the backside, he has a big level stage, cemented one. And Qazi Aslam Sahib sitting over there, and his chair slipped backward and then he fell down. And because of that, then he got an injury, which he was carrying till his death, and he was limping because of that. And that's why he was mentioning about him. Now I want to go over to an incident after nationalization. And some of you know Imtiaz Ali Sheikh. He was the principal of Law College, very famous person. I have met him along with Dr. Naseer Ahmed Khan Sahib. Later on, he became Education Secretary, Government of Punjab, and he was in Sargodha on his way back. Then he visited our college, Talim Islam College. Over there, then he delivered a long speech, but really good speech. And in that speech, he quoted Confucius' philosophy, with the aim that the nationalization of a college is a reality, accept it, and proceed on with the takeover of the college by the government. That's what his theme was. But suddenly, then he moved to uh, quoted the incidents of Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his journey to Miraj, the ascension to the heaven. Then he was trying to explain it with the Einstein theory and the theory of the out. He was trying to make a sense out of that because the Einstein theory, in fact, explains that one. And I saw that most of the professors over there, those were having long beard, and they were really happy that he said something. So I saw Dr. Naseer Ahmed Khan Sahib, he stood up and very meticulously probed the explanation of the Einstein theory. And then he said that it is opposite to whatever he has said. But it was, in order to do this, you have to go through higher speed than the velocity of light. And it was a kashf. It was not that the one you were explaining. And this happened in the kashf to the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So, in brief, he was very precise in explanation and did it in such a manner that no one was able to say anything or it goes over their head. They cannot understand that one. Now, I want to mention that his sensitivity to his friends, and he was having a very charming mannerism and taking care of his friends. I remember Abdul Salam Akhtar, a poet, and he was Vakil or Nazir, who was seriously sick. Dr. Nasir Ahmad Khan organized a meeting in his honor at his residence, inviting few poets or friends. I remember Masood Delvi Sahab was there, Shabir Sahab was there, and there was a Nawab Sahab, he was also there. Beyond that, I don't recall what others are. And from Rabba, they were there. I noticed that Abdul Salam Akhtar uh, was not feeling really good, but in his feeble voice, then he recited his poetry. And this was the last meeting. After a few days, he passed away. And this shows that Dr. Nasir Ahmed Khan's sensitivity to his friends, and he did it very appropriately. Then I want to, there are many other incidences also, but this one little bit stands out. That's why I am mentioning it over here. After nationalization, we were having the faculty member, his name was Fazlur Rahman, and he was a very jolly fellow. He always narrates many stories just to keep the colleagues happy. He invited Dr. Nasir Ahmed Khan Sahab and me to his residence in a village in Silawali. And he gave us a tour of his land, then his house. And he was very happy that his wife had served us a really very good lunch. Then suddenly, then he changed his mood. And in a jolly way, he said that, do you know, my wife is daughter of my mamu, who is an MD. And he spent a lot of time because his FD fellows were coming over here. That's why he gave you a lunch, which she never ever did that much. So that was, I thought that I will mention it. But now I am going to touch upon another part of Nasir Ahmed Khan Sahib. He was a great conversationalist. In meeting, he was quite persuasive, but on the other hand, ready to accept current ideas and changing his view, appreciating good ideas. In frank and lively meeting, he always showed good sense of humor and enjoyed discussion, whether it is scientific, poetry related, literature, philosophical. He will bring around to a happy conclusion. In brief, he was the center of meetings and dominated in a very friendly way. Let me now summarize his personality in respect of the meeting or the conversationalist. His presence always fills the room. And by his presence, then you are seeing energy among all the participants. And one time I was talking with Dr. Wasim Ahmed, uh, who lives now in America, but he did his PhD under the tutelage of Professor Abdul Salam. He was mentioning to me that the International Center for Theoretical Physics at Trieste, Italy, it was a very quiet and isolated place. But when Dr. Nasir Ahmad Khan visited over there, he met with everyone. So he made that place a socially vibrant, and he created an atmosphere of more interaction with each other. So I thought that I also observed this at the college annual faculty dinner in 1970, 1971, and after 1971 there was no such, but he was always at the center of all the discussions, and people enjoyed talking with him. Okay, now I'm going to mention that although I am going to repeat it, but I just want to summarize because I am almost reaching to a point that I will be saying few more instances, then probably I will conclude my presentation. I am reaching to the end and I am summarizing it. As I mentioned, that Dr. Nasir Ahmad Khan Sahab was a devoted Ahmadi, true to the objectives of devotion of life, Waqf-e-Zindagi, highly disciplined person, passionate for the progress of the physics department and to achieve goals which Hazrat Khalifatul Masih assigned him. A great administrator, a remarkable passion for education, sportsman, impeccably well-dressed person, innate tolerance in dealing with students and others with an attractive smile and a great friend. My years working with him groomed me to the level that I successfully did well in my profession as a teacher, professor at the university level, researcher, educator, establishing a program in US and the new research laboratory on micro and nano electronics in US University. The university and the engineering college and the department recognized me. I owe a part of it from uh, my my boss or chairman or friend, colleague or trustworthy friend who was good in communicating with people from a common background to the intellectuals also. One unique opportunity that helped me in my career in USA, although I was well groomed at Government College Lahore also, that over there the professor will come and they will deliver the lecture and they always leave with some of the references, and based on that we were going to the library and prepare our all those notes in that case. And that helped me a lot because when I start teaching some of the subjects I never learned that before, I studied and then I taught those also. So he was having a good interpersonal etiquettes to interact with colleagues and the engineering community also. I, in fact, joined his efforts for the progress of the department, and our association turned into a frank friendship, but with my deepest respect for him. And both of us enjoyed working at the department with the genuine passion and worked on many projects together. I did not recall any incident of Hasa, me, and our colleagues ever discuss with a student or a faculty based on their religious affiliation, political views, financial status, caste, and creed. Department provided a secular environment for the progress of graduate education, and everyone enjoyed their work and discharged their duties by putting the maximum effort. Dr. Nasir Ahmad Khan Sahab is remembered by his students who are spread around the world in different countries, probably in all continents, with an indelible respect for their education, moral, and ethical values. He was a devoted Ahmadi and the devotee of life, Waqf-e-Zindagi, highly disciplined person, a great organizer, physicist, and religious scholar, and a faithful friend. He served without any prejudice to students, bringing real environment for the progress of education and research in the physics department, TI College of Law. May Allah grant him highest station in Jannatul Firdaus and guide his students, colleagues, particularly his children, to follow his example. And I would like to thank all of you who attended this and giving me the opportunity to talk about Professor Naseer Ahmad Khan Sahab. But I sometimes enjoy in my thoughts and explaining to my family and friends what a great place was and how well organized and how it was set up in good traditions. Looking forward to a I am looking forward to good days of education in Pakistan. There is much more to say, but within the time, I have tried to summarize a few details. Again, thanks for providing me this opportunity and including me a part of it. And at the start of this series, to remember Dr. Nasir Ahmad Khan Sahab. But before I conclude, I forgot to mention one incident that he was a highly disciplined person, and you all know very well. And my father was also a very highly disciplined person. So when I started interacting with him, I was not having any difficulty to deal with him. In addition to that, I remember that it was late 1970 or early 1971. I was living in front of his house because I still have some time. That's why I'm using it. Yeah. So I was living in front of his house and one of his sister's house in that case. I rented that. I remember that he used to come to me in the evening and we talk about what we are doing in the physics department. And one day he started convincing me that you should try to think about devoting your life. So I already rebelled from my father because my father wants to make me to go into the CSS and then become deputy commissioner and like this. I remember that once I was visiting Pakistan, I belonged to Jung, and the Jung deputy commissioner was my classmate, Rifat Pirzada. So I took my father to his office, and then we were talking together over there. And suddenly, one of the MNA, he just came inside the office without knocking at the door. When he went away, then he said to my father, Khalid did the right thing. He went to America. He's teaching over there in a university. He did better than me. So that was the best part of it, that why I did that. And at that time, because I used to say that CSS is nothing but a dignified clerk, in my opinion. Coming back to Dr. Nasir Ahmed Khan Sahab, when he asked me to devote my life, I just respectfully told him that I mentioned to him that I'm going to, let me see, I wrote something, that's why I'm looking at it. But I respectfully told him that I'm going to do this in such a way. Uh, yeah, in such a way that as if I am a devotee in that way. So I feel that I did really well in that respect also, and I did really good in serving the Jamaat also. That's what I feel. Okay, let me now summarize, finish it. At the end, I would like to remind you that in my last presentation at the end, I requested you that if you can start a scholarship in the name of Dr. Nasir Ahmad Khan Sahab. And now the ball is in your court, and I am confident you all will play really well. Discuss it in such a way that you have a better outcome. Keep your aims contained. Don't look for big. Just start at the humble beginning. It will be elegant and appropriate for the person you all owe a lot. And that is why you have this series to remember him. So I briefly now go over to all the details which I feel that I can explain. And if you have any question or explanation, I will be happy to. Mahmood Saab.
Anybody want to ask any question to Khalid Saab? Khalid Saab, I agree. We will look into the scholarship concept, and we have been discussing off and on offline. I think that since last program, Ramzan gave a break and discontinuity in our program sort of thing. So there's some discontinuity in the discussions, but absolutely we will form a framework where a mechanism that this scholarship would continue even after we are gone. So I think we need to have a proper, thorough discussions. What I don't want to do is we start and after 1 year or 2 years it gets stopped. So I think that we need to think about it and find a mechanism which is time to remember always for the future students sort of thing. What I wanted to say, to add what you have said today, that and some people, and including me, I met my dear friend Naeem Taher today at lunch, and we were discussing with Dr. Naseer Khan Sahab as well. The perception at that time was that Dr. Naseer Khan Sahab are very, very strict and in Punjabi, which says बहुत सख्त ने, and uncompromising ne. And I will give you two examples for two group of students. When we did BSc, there was one group of students who decided that they don't want to continue in TA college, and because the strictness of Dr. Naseer Khan Sahab was the reason for them. And I know them personally. And one person who went that degree, he actually wanted to do physics. His subject was physics. But because he didn't want to do, at the age of 19, mind is single-minded, and he didn't want to stay in college, he changed his subject to mathematics to convince his family that I'm not interested in physics, I'll do mathematics, and he went to Punjab University. So I know 3 students who did that. And at the same time, we know that 7 of us, we stayed in TA college. The point I want to make on this point is that when we were going through that, it was tough. And we sometimes created a strike, and we sometimes went out of the way to annoy Dr. Naseer Khan Sahab and things. But the end of the summary point I want to say is, us as 7 people, when we went to our practical life, we appreciated what Dr. Naseer Khan Sahab have done for us. At the same time, the 4 students who did not go to the TA college, they regretted it afterward. And they afterward felt that they wished that they had gone to the TA college. And they made a life mistake which has impacted their life completely. They did not do any well in Punjab University, the way you said it, Khalid Saab. Some of us not what bright student academically in the past academic records point of view. But the 4 students which I'm mentioning, they were very, very academically better than us. But they were not in that same framework which Dr. Naseer Khan Sahab have established, which actually polished us, which, वो लोहे को कुंदन बना दिया उन्होंने, इस तरह की मिसाल थी. And I know for a fact that if those 4 students had also stayed, they would have done like Kamar Shamas or like Dr. Riyaz Akbar, the other people, and Dr. Naeem Taher, who have achieved in the highest achievement in their own disciplines, in my view. So that I think I want to mention that at that time, uh, what Dr. Naseer Khan Sahab had set up a framework, and it was with conviction from him, but a professional conviction from him. One day he told us, you can be top of the university. There's no limit for you that you can't be. And that really made our group, that our 7 people in the first 11 position, we had 7 positions in the result. So it was his belief in us and his conviction in that is one of the other thing which made our lives where we are today.
Yes, that is true. And since you have opened it up, I remember I was really good in talking to him, and he always, uh, whatever I say, he considered that. And sometime I was going opposite to whatever he was doing. And at one point in the beginning, I told him that you are putting too much pressure to the students. This is not the way the things work. Then, then he brought all the record in front of me. He said that, look at Khalid Sahib, this is the way these are. And we are going to polish that. The only way we can do it by the successive assessment. So after this, then I kept quiet. And the first year result, when the first batch result came, and I after that never said anything. And that's what my conclusion is, that most of you were late bloomer, but you
Yes.
people really well. And you are testifying that to that
Yes.
person who worked hard on it. And he was thinking day and night about the progress of the physics department. So, so that's the way things work. And he realized that, and he was mentioning. I think he mentioned to me about basketball when he was coaching that team. Also, he said that some of them were not good, but I trained them in such a way. Then at one time they won the championship in Pakistan also.
Yeah.
So he was a very good motivator, and he did it by example, and he did really well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
Anybody else, any observations before we close the program today? We have plenty of time. We have 20 minutes.
Yeah, but I have few other things to include, but I make it very short. The part of the reason is I already took 1 hour. Okay, let me now say something, since you have the time. I remember that at the annual get together that we were having with our students, there is one incident that I would like. It's on a lighter mode in a way. It's not something. It was 1971. I think the class which Lukman Saab, Munawar Saab, they were all, Mia, Ata, Habibur Rahman, they were all together. I attended that. And I do remember that Mia Habibur Rahman wrote a piece. And Dr. Munawar Saab was, in fact, the one who was narrating that one. And he wrote something about me also. So that parody which you wrote, I am going to mention to you today is probably Mia Habibur Rahman was the one. He was the son of Mia Atar Rahman. So he says that, if I recall it well, खालिक साहब के 5-6 बालक होंगे, रुखसारों पे मलते कालक होंगे. So then it goes on. So I was just thinking about that since you are mentioning. I have only 3 children. I didn't go to 5 or 6. But my children never did that call upon their ruksa.
Yeah.
They did really well in their academically and in every way. So I was just enjoying that thing. And it was really very good get together at the end of the graduate when they are finishing that. And I did started that where I was in the university also, and they did that. in USA. So they were venting out their sentiments and whatever they have for their fellow friends or for the faculty or the administration. But it is really a good thing to do. I like that.
I think we did have fun at the annual dinner. So we everybody showed their talent at that time. But I think
Yeah, unfortunately, we cannot continue that after 72 because of the nationalization. That was the only
yeah,
issue that we faced that.
yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah,
it was fine.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's anybody any observation so we can close the program?
Yeah, there are a lot of instances, but I thought that maybe I keep it very simple. I already took
I
1 hour. Yeah.
I need to remind my colleagues. I must say I'm a bit disappointed that a lot of my colleagues have not been able to join the call, join this program. And we decided as a team that when we were planning this, that everybody mentioning is that I hope that they listen to this program offline afterward, and then it would be a reminder to them, like, you know, that they need to join the program. We actually set the program in a way that people can join in America, can join in from Australia and all over the world. And I can only see Dr. Naeem, myself, and you. Is there anybody else who I may be missing? But I think there's a lot of people from Dr. Khan's family here, which I appreciate.
Yeah,
Zaid
I
Khan
saw
and
that Zaid Ahmed Khan is there and Khan Saab's
and
daughter
family
is
members. I really
there.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I I had a very um, special. I think everybody felt that at that time. Once we left the college, okay, our relationship with Dr. Naseer Khan Saab became much closer and much professional and much more personal as well, in a manner that as I have mentioned before, he was passing through England and he stayed with me. It was an honor for me that he stayed with me for a whole week. And he didn't visit his sister or his brother in UK. Whole week, I had a whole program for him to see the Cambridge University and our engineering manufacturing processes. And he thoroughly enjoyed, which was a great honor for me that he was giving me the opportunity that I got to know him a lot better in that week than I knew him before. One thing I was mentioning this lunchtime today, which is again that, you know, a lot of students know this. Whenever Dr. Naseer Khan Sahab driving his car, and if he sees any student walking, he would give them a lift to the college. This was his practice. He has given me many times lift to the college. And I have worked with Dr. Naseer Khan Sahab at the Jalsa Salana as a duty with him as a Karkun. But uh, one thing which I was mentioning today to name the psychological impact of Dr. Naseer Khan Sahab was so heavy on us when we were students. When I came to England and I was coming out of my lecture room, I just saw a blue Beetle VW car on the road. Here I am 6,000 miles away from Pakistan and car could be anybody's. The first thought come to my head is, has Dr. Naseer Khan Sahab come here to see how am I doing here? And this thought that my first thought goes to that process, which is in my subconscious sitting there, the Dr. Naseer Khan Sahab, the way he used to visit in our houses, whether we are studying or not. I remember him, he, in a really 32, 35 degree temperature, with an umbrella on his feet. He was going to everybody's house. Are my students studying or not? So that dedication, it needs some special motivation. You know, that you are coming out of your comfort house all the way, walking 3-4 miles in different houses. And so really great. I mean, I think we all owe to him anyway. We all know that. We all owe to him.
There's no doubt about that.
There's no
Yeah.
doubt. I always call him, in my personal mind, I say to him, he was Sir Syed of physics in TI College, to be honest. The way he...
Well, he was more than that.
Yeah.
And I hope that now I heard that they have closed that physics department. Now Jamaat has started the MSc classes somewhere else. And
Yes.
because I came to know about that from Mirza Afzal Sahib, who is Nazir Talim. And hopefully they will keep up that spirit, and they will start that program again, inshallah.
Yeah.
And we all are here to help them, inshallah. We will do that. And finally, I want to thank you for taking the initiative in doing that. And also the Irfan Saab also, because he's the one who is doing really good job. But on the other hand, he was in Pakistan. So I remember that small verse I am going to say to Irfan Saab. जहाँ में अहले ईमान को सूरत खुर्शीद फिरते हैं, इधर डूबे उधर निकले, उधर डूबे इधर निकले. So probably you will like that.
Yes, he's smiling. Shall we close the program, Irfan sir?
Yeah. Who is the
Yes.
Samsung guy? Is it
That's Dr. Naeem.
Okay, Naeem. Okay, Naeem. Assalamu alaikum. Good to see you.
Can you unmute, Naeem? You are mute. Can you unmute? We cannot hear you.
I think he has to unmute it because he is muted. I see that. Well, I wish I know that you have that much time. I should have included more incidences, but I'm not going to that detail. There is a lot to say. Maybe at another meeting we will do this when we meet together.
Sure.
Yeah.
I will find the lecturer for next, probably Mirza Luqman Saab or Asif. I was just going to, it is my apologies. I was just going to say his nickname, so I'm glad I didn't say that. Asif Ali Pervez or...
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
I was trying to unmute, but I was not successful. Sorry, I was a bit late, and I could not switch on my computer because there was not enough time. So I started with my mobile.
Okay. That's good to see you.
Thank you. And it's also good to see you.
Yeah, because we all have changed a lot.
Yes. Well, I met Mahmood in person today.
Okay.
But I still recognized him and he recognized me.
Well, you will recognize each other.
We had an excellent 2-3 hours together. And,
Yes.
honor, and he really is. Thank you for his hospitality.
You are very welcome.
Great fun. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
On behalf of the family, I also thank everyone for being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Allah Hafiz.
Jazakallah.